So what happens when you hand artists an AI toolkit that mashes up the power of image, video, and audio generation all in one spot? Well, that's the big idea behind a new platform called Superstudio. And it's trying to be way more than just another tool. It's designed to be a true extension of the creative mind. Let's break down what that really means. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll get into the main idea, what they call the creative canvas. Then, we'll pop the hood and see what's inside their unified toolkit. We'll check out the artists who are already using it, see how it's showing up on some massive stages, and finally, we'll get into the big question. How could this change? Well, everything. So, to really get why a tool like Superstudio even exists, we have to start with this really basic problem that every single creative person runs into. It's a question we've all asked ourselves. You know that feeling, right? You've got that spark, that idea just buzzing around in your head. But how do you get it out? How do you make it real? This is the fundamental challenge that creative tools have always tried to solve. And Superstudio's answer to that question is this really powerful statement. They're not just selling you a piece of software. They're offering a space, a canvas, with literally no boundaries, that's meant to be a direct pipeline from your imagination into the real world. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just another image generator or a new video editor. The whole point is to tear down the walls that separate all these creative fields. I mean, think about it. A painter who can compose a soundtrack for their art, or a musician who can animate their own music video, all from the same place. That unified, seamless approach is what they're going for. Okay, so this idea of an infinite canvas sounds great, but what does that actually look like in practice? What can you do inside Superstudio? Well, it really boils down to four main things you can do. First, you can teach it your own unique style. Then, you can use that style to build out entire worlds. After that, you can start to bring those scenes to life with motion. And finally, you can weave it all together into a complete story. Let's dig into each of these a little more. Now, this first one, custom models, this is a total game changer. Instead of typing in the style of Van Gogh, you can actually train the AI on your own work. It learns your specific vibe, your brushstrokes, your colors, your editing flair. This means the AI stops being a generic tool and starts being a true collaborator that actually gets you. For anyone who makes videos, the integration is the main selling point. You can go straight from a rough storyboard idea to animating scenes and polishing the final motion, all without ever having to switch programs. It's all about smoothing out that workflow, which can be, kind of a nightmare sometimes. And hey, this isn't just for the visual folks. Musicians can generate visuals that pulse and react to their tracks, or even create fully lip-synced animated characters. This is a perfect example of how those worlds of sound and sight are just completely merging on the platform. And here is the secret sauce under the hood. Superstudio isn't trying to build every single AI model from scratch. Nope. Instead, it's bringing together this whole dream team of the best models out there. You've got Luma and Runway for video, Stability for images and audio. This is how they actually deliver on that all-in-one promise. All right, so the tech is clearly powerful, but who's actually using it? Let's take a look at the actual creators turning this infinite canvas into real, tangible art. The range of people jumping on this is just wild. On one hand, you have musicians who are using it to go way beyond just a simple music video. They're building entire aesthetic universes for their albums. And that same idea applies to animators, who can now prototype and crank out these complex stories at a speed that was just impossible for one person before. It's also getting weird in the best way possible, pushing the boundaries of what we even consider an art form. I mean, get this. Makeup artists are blending digital effects with physical beauty, using AI like a new kind of cosmetic. It's wild. And for a lot of artists, that's what this is all about, just pure creative exploration. They're just pushing buttons, mashing up genres, and seeing what's even possible at the bleeding edge of this tech. We're even seeing this pop up in more traditional fields. Artists are taking something as classic as a portrait and just completely flipping it on its head, using AI not to replace their skill, but as a brand new medium to work with. And this all kind of comes to a head in spaces like fashion, where artists are merging identity, style, and technology into these incredible new images that feel both totally familiar and from another planet at the same time. So, the company behind Superstudio
Kaiber has this R&D group called Kaiber Labs. You can think of it as their creative playground. It's where they team up with supervisionary artists on these huge projects to basically push the tech to its absolute breaking point, long before those features get released to everyone else.
And they've already worked with some massive names. They built custom AI models for Grimes for her Coachella set. They co-produced animations for Yeji's headlining festival show with Boiler Room. They created visuals with the artist John Raffman for a rave in Europe. So yeah, this isn't just some theory. It's being battle-tested on the world's biggest stages.
Okay, so let's zoom all the way out. A tool this powerful, this unified, it has some pretty enormous implications for what it even means to be a creator anymore.
This quote just kind of nails it, right? When the tools get this good and this easy to use, the main thing holding you back isn't your technical skill with 10 different programs. It's just the size of your imagination.
And that's the core promise of this whole AI creative revolution. By knocking down the old barriers, the super expensive software, the years of training, the big production teams, the goal is to give everyone access to high-level creation. The focus shifts from how do I even make this to just what do I want to make?
And that brings us to this final, really fascinating question to chew on. As these AI tools become less like a hammer and more like a creative partner, our whole definition of artist might start to shift. When the AI can execute a style perfectly, what's the most important human part of the equation? Is it the original vision? Is it the curation, the prompt engineering? It's something to think about as we watch this all unfold.